What's the story, everyone? Welcome back to Gaelic Games Fan TV. How's the form? How are we all getting on? It's the live watch-along, Derry versus Donegal. A little bit late there. Apologies about that. The game has already started. Derry are already a point to the good as well. So we'll update that score as much as we can as we go along. Obviously, absolutely massive game for more than one reason. And yeah, we're absolutely, really looking forward to covering the game, watching the game and everything else. Derry, Donegal, massive rivalry. Doesn't really get much bigger than this. And it's already been, to be fair, an interesting day for championship action in terms of how the games have gone, how the results have looked. Cork just about getting over the line against Kerry. Galway just about getting over the line against Sligo as well. Could Donegal cause a bit of a surprise, a bit of a shock today versus what is a very good Derry side, a Derry team that many people expect to be serious challengers in terms of winning the All-Ireland, at least being competitive or at least pushing the big sides, the likes of Dublin and Kerry. And to be fair to Derry, they probably are maybe on paper the second favourites, arguably the favourites right now. And to be fair, they've started very, very well with that opening score. A point to the good against Donegal. Let us know, anyone who's tuning in, your predictions in terms of the score, who you think will come through, and everything else. Just looking at it there, Ethan Doherty, the man, with the point for Derry, so a point to the good. Might maybe change those fonts on the scoreboard, maybe make them a little bit more visible or something. But certainly a good start for Derry. Donegal, a lot of men behind the ball so far, as you'd expect. Oren Lynch basically playing in the half-forward line there by the looks of things. Just looking at Celtic Park, absolutely packed to the brim. Not an empty seat in the house, unlike the Leinster Championship. Well, Leinster Championship in Croke Park, to be fair. But looking at it here, like absolutely packed to the brim, which is absolutely great to see, in fairness. Slow enough start. Derry with possession for large parts, keeping the ball, slowing things down. Gary says here, can't wait. Yeah, absolutely. Should be. It's highly anticipated, obviously, and I'm sure for Derry fans watching on, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I mean, it is, for me anyway, Derry's toughest challenge in Ulster. They get a mark there, very well called from Paul Cassidy, and this should be point number 2, you would imagine, for Derry. They should be able to pop this over the bar and open up a 2-point lead. Donegal really haven't had any of the ball so far. Paul Cassidy bends it in nicely. Look, for a minute there that was going to go wide. It must be obviously a good bit of a breeze in Celtic Park. But very good score. Yeah, Donegal haven't really had any of the ball so far, 5 minutes in. It's mostly been Derry who've been able to have their hands on the ball. Interested to see what Sean Patton does here in the kick out. He lost the last one, and this one goes astray again. Derry pressing right up on Donegal, and Donegal are struggling here early on. This might maybe be a chance for point number 3, maybe even half chance at a goal. Oh, and the effort hits the post. It was a fisted effort at a point. Ends up hitting the post. Donegal come away with it. And what feels like for the first time in the game, they actually have their hands on the ball. And here they now look to break against Derry. We knew they were going to operate like this. And they're getting a lot of men forward. But Conor Glass is the man tracking back. And he does a great job there, in fairness. And that sort of, just for a moment there, it looked as if there was going to be a half chance for Donegal, but Derry are coming right back. Donegal are a little bit out of position. They win it back, though, in fairness, and that's a great turnover, it must be said there, from Dara O'Bweel in the side. Gavin says Sligo for Talchin. Yeah, look, I think they'll definitely be strong contenders. They'll definitely be strong contenders, no doubt about that. I think they'll be strong favourites in my opinion, especially like beating Westmeath, who coincidentally would have ended up in the Talchin Cup today if Sligo had won, and could very well still end up in it. It's not impossible. But it's looking good for Derry. It is looking good. I think we're going to have to abandon this scoreline graphic. Unfortunately, it's not. The internet is having an slow day. But Donegal with a bit of a chance there, in fairness. Two points to the good Waterford playing Clare, obviously, at the moment as well. Be interesting to see what happens in that game, or what the score is in that game. Clare 9 points to 3 up already, so looks like any chance of the upset won't be happening. Waterford did get the opening score, though, to be fair. Jason Curry there. 9 points to 3 there. 2 points to 0 here. Donegal with the effort at the 45. Looks good. Looks over the bar. 2 points to 1. It's Oisin Gallen who gets the first score of the game from a Donegal perspective. And we'll just use this score graphic on the screen there because it makes life a lot easier. We need to look into that. That needs to be an L something for myself to do. But 2 points to 1 for Derry. To be fair to Donegal, they'll be happy with that. They'll be happy with getting that score just because Derry had so much of the ball and have had so much of the ball in the opening 8 or 9 minutes. But it is only a 1 point game, and I think Donegal will be fairly happy with that. Here comes Conor Glass driving at the heart of Derry's midfield, or heart of Donegal's midfield. Played out wide into Paul Cassidy. You can see Donegal with so much men behind the ball. Very in line with the Jim McGuinness type way, as we would have expected. They are coming out to press Derry on the ball in around the middle. But Cassidy, good ball inside there. Into Padder McGrogan. Donegal very well set up. Suppose low scoring after 10 minutes, but maybe this was expected. There's an effort, and there's a great effort as well. Lovely point there from Conor Doherty, who puts Derry 2 points to the good. 3 points to 1 up now. Very well taken score from Conor Doherty. 3 points to 1 in favour for Derry, so they're looking good so far, but obviously still early days. 10 minutes in. And Donegal coming away with the ball now. They really haven't had too much of the ball in the opening 10 minutes. Can they make it count? Obviously, no points from play so far for Donegal. But as we were saying, early days. Great weather in Celtic Park as well. Seems to be great weather all across the country, potentially. Probably not in the west of Ireland, though, because it's always rain and wind there. But looks sunny enough in Cork, Kerry. It's a nice enough day here in Dublin. Looks nice in Celtic Park as well. So championship weather, and it does feel like the first proper championship weekend as well, to be fair, with some very good games. The hurling as well, obviously, looks absolutely cracking tomorrow. So good to see it. Mark Curran coming away with the ball. Derry this time, just absorbing pressure. Donegal keeping their hands on the ball. You feel like a goal or something could probably open this game up, but here's a great run, and that's a great point. Really, really well taken there from Ryan McHugh. Back in the side, pops it over. 3 points to 2. Donegal, to be fair, like the way Derry started, the way they came out, like they came flying out of the blocks, you were kind of thinking Donegal might be in a bit of spot of bother because Derry hit the opening 2 points. They had a couple of chances after that to make it 3-0. But in fairness to Donegal, they've managed to keep themselves in it. And Roy McHugh there popping the ball over the bar. First point from play as well. Very, very well taken there from the Donegal stalwart as well. Obviously part of the Jim McGuinness side that won the All-Ireland back in 2012. Oh, that's a bit of a loose ball there. And Derry are in a bit of trouble there. It was Oren Lynch who played the pass, and Donegal can break away with it here. They might even get a goal chance. They probably should just take the point, though. They're surely going to just take the point here. They have to. And they do. Popped over the bar. Poor enough from Oren Lynch. Niall O'Donnell was the man who broke away with it. Very unlike Derry to lose possession. It was actually Oisin Gallen who intercepted it, played it off to Niall O'Donnell. He's running through. And then he plays it back to someone who eventually popped it over. So 3-3. 3-3. Good response for Donegal. Uncharacteristic error there from Derry, it must be said. A2 says good for Sligo. They deserve to win. Yeah, absolutely. You know, like I obviously didn't see the game. Well, I don't think anyone did unless you were at it. Like the game wasn't on TV, but I was keeping an eye on Scorpio, was looking at reports, and was even trying to tune into the radio to watch it, but it wasn't quite working for me. But yeah, very unfortunate for Sligo. Like they were leading 3 points going into injury time, and then they managed to lose it. Like Robert Finnerty with a late goal. The only good thing for Sligo is that they are a young team. And they are building. I don't think it's the same as like Wicklow against Kildare in the sense that Wicklow, like Kildare mightn't be as bad as that again. Then again, Galway mightn't be as poor as that against Sligo. Galway, he said they were awful. He was there. I'd imagine they probably were to a certain degree. But yeah, here's a chance. Oh, nearly ended up in the back of the net there. A bit of a balloon shot that floated in. Donegal now coming away with it. And having the ball. Gavin here. Really horrible what happened to the third man tackle. I loved his docs. Hope he gets it resolved. Yeah, absolutely. It seems to be more and more common, unfortunately, in GA content that this seems to be happening. Here's Roy McHugh bursting forward. And Roy McHugh pops it over. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a few flashbacks of 2014, Donegal, Dublin. It's very reminiscent. Donegal just keep breaking with so much pace on the counter-attack. And Roy McHugh there is the man to slot it over. Really, really well taken points. 2 points actually from him now as well. So fair play. But yeah, getting back to what you were saying there, what I was saying about third man tackle, yeah, it's very disappointing to see that. And yeah, like he was doing a phenomenal job. I don't know what it is. Like the League of Ireland seem to embrace content creators, and I feel like the Premier League do as well to a certain extent. But in the GA, it's just not like that at all, which is a real shame. And yeah, hopefully he can bounce back from it, because it would be an awful shame to see him delete his channel. Do you know that way? Like it's not good, and it's quite worrying at the same time. But that is how things seem to be right now, unfortunately. But 4 points to 3 for Donegal. They lead for the first time in the game. They had a bit of a chance there from Oisin Gallen as well. They could have went 5 points to 3 up. Derry have lost the ball again. And all of a sudden, like Derry were starting really, really strong, but Donegal are just moving the ball through the transition. They just seem to be quicker. And the way they're running with the ball, they're doing it very, very quick and very sharp, very fast. And Derry can't really cope with it at the minute. The GA doesn't live in the real world. They're killing the game. Yeah, and it's mad. What's really disappointing is like the amount of issues that you do have in Gaelic games right now, and all this crack of copy, and everything. And like, fair enough, there probably was video clips and everything, and it does seem to be video clips is the big one that the GA are clamping down on and everything else. But the amount of issues and problems that are in Gaelic games right now, and this is what they're focusing on. You know, it's just very out of taste. It's very out of taste, and they don't really seem to like people promoting the game, which is bizarre. You know, because you think that they would, given that it is an amateur game and everything else, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Donegal turning the ball over again. The crowd on the sideline jumping up as well, which, you know, is always an indication that the Donegal fans they're enjoying this. 17 minutes in, 4 points to 3. It's been a really, really good performance from Donegal. Ryan McHugh, 2 points from him. He's been very, very good. Donegal do lose the ball, though, and it is in those areas where they probably should look to capitalise, but not meant to be. We're about 18 minutes in. Here's an effort outside of the boot. Flies wide of the target there from Kieran McFall. Donegal will be the happier. Mickey Hart watches on. He's not looking too happy there. Mickey Hart, Jim McGuinness, quite the rivalry. Would have been, 2014 the last time those two managers came up against each other. Maybe 2013. Donegal going long with the kick out. And they win it as well. And they break away with it. And the space here, Derry, the goalkeeper's off his line. He could just lob it over the top of him. And he does. And it's in the back of the net. Goal for Donegal. And it's Dara O'Bweel who I think has got it there. Derry were at absolute sea. Absolutely all over the place. Oren Lynch was off his line. Ball goes in. Donegal win the breaking ball from the kick out. Oren Lynch is absolutely nowhere to be seen. It's 6v2, 6v3. And Dara O'Bweel, to be fair, keeps his composure. He done, unfortunately, what Wicklow could not do last week, which is putting the ball. To be fair, that was probably closer to goal and a much better chance. But then again, the goalkeeper was a little bit closer to the goal. Donegal won the resulting kick out, but Derry have it back now again with McGuigan. Derry haven't scored in a while now as well. Must be like 10 minutes or so since they last scored. 10th minute, as a matter of fact. So coming up just on 10 minutes. You just get the feeling that it's on here for Donegal. It is early, but they've started very, very well. This should be a point for Derry, and it is. It's popped over from Ethan Doherty. Point number 2 for him. And 4-1-4. So 3-point game. And Dara O'Bweel, who wasn't expected to start, has had a very, very good game so far. Have I gone back to 2014? Yeah, look, it has some similarities to it so far. Only thing is about that game, though, is that Dublin were actually very good in the first half. They actually led by like 4 or 5, and then they just absolutely fell apart. But Donegal have won a foul here, won a free. There hasn't been too many frees in this game so far. David Goff has definitely let it go and let it flow, which is good to see. And this time there is a foul. Punch in the back there. So there can't really be any complaints as Caleb McGonigal goes down from Niall Loughlin's challenge. And standing over this is Oisín Gallen. Not the easiest, but a player of his ability should be able to hopefully pop this one over, you'd imagine. So Oisín Gallen standing over at 1 point so far. And this one looks good. Yeah, it looks good over the bar. So Oisín Gallen, point number 2 from him. It's a very, very good start here from Donegal. Very, very good start. 1-5 to 4 points. Donegal fans will be very, very happy with how this game has gone so far. But of course, we are only 21 minutes in, and there still is quite a bit to go. And look at that for a turn, for a block there. Niall O'Donnell, the man getting the block in. Donegal are just, they're attacking in numbers, they're defending in numbers. It's almost like they're all playing in the same position. It's quite mad to see, Here's an effort from McGuigan. That's going to curl in. It's Paul Cassidy, actually. And that's a very, very good point there from Paul Cassidy. I automatically assumed it was McGuigan because that's the type of points that McGuigan loves to score. But that's absolutely top quality and top class stuff there from Paul Cassidy to keep it as a 3-point game. Really satisfying goal. Lynch was out most of the Derry Roscommon game. Wanted the Roscommon players to do what the Donegal player did there and catch him on the hop, says Gavin. Yeah, look, it was. I think Oran Lynch maybe is a bit of a weakling, maybe in that Derry side. I don't think he is the type of natural sweeper keeper as, say, Sean Patton can do with Donegal, and we haven't really seen that in this game so far. But Noel Morgan does with Tyrone. Rory Beggan would do with Monaghan. I don't think he's as good with his feet. I don't think he's as good in possession as those other goalkeepers. To be fair, the goal wasn't really probably his fault, though. Like, he's always going to push up and mark that space. He done it very, very well against Dublin. Dublin really struggled with kickouts, but I think the problem was Derry's positioning. Like, as soon as the ball broke down, it was 6v3, and they were absolutely all over the place, Derry. Like, how that ends up as a 6v3 situation. Like, where's the rest of... And it's 6v3, but it's 6v2 in terms of outfield players, so you don't know where the rest of Derry's defence went. Brilliant from Donegal so far. I think Lynch is very overrated compared to Beggan and Patton, says Gaelic Guy. Yeah, he probably is, maybe ever so slightly. Beggan and Patton, Morgan, though, probably are the three best goalkeepers in the business. Three of the best goalkeepers in the business. In terms of kicking as well, like kickouts, they're absolutely brilliant. Still no word on Beggan as well, whether he's going to the NFL, but something does seem to have happened here with, I don't know if Donegal were too slow on the kick out or something, but David Goff decides to throw it in, but Donegal do win the ball back. So in the end, it doesn't really mean anything. 10 minutes to go before the end of normal time. Can't imagine there'll be too much added on. I don't think there's really been any stoppages at all. But yeah, fair play to Donegal so far. Like, they've done really, really well. Coming up against a very, very good Derry side. Arguably one of the favourites for the All-Ireland. And Derry started very strong, started very fast, but Donegal have been able to just deal with them really, really well. No point from play, though, since that goal on the 19th minute, so they'll probably want to get something from play from this attack. And they do get a foul. They do win a free there, so Oisin Gallen will stand over this, and you'd imagine him to pop it over. Derry looking at making a sub already as well by the looks of things. Niall Toner looks to be coming on, so that's interesting. Whether that's an injury, I'm not entirely sure. So Oisin Gallen, 2 points so far. Doesn't go for this one, though. Offloads it to another player. It was a little bit far out, so maybe the right decision. Possibly playing against the breeze as well. You feel like Donegal do need a point here, though, or they need something to stand to it. Like you said, the 2014 game, Dublin absolutely battered them. 2025, but Donegal clung on, were rootless. Yeah, it was a mad game. It was a mad L game. I just remember Donegal just couldn't miss for the final, like 20, 25 minutes. And yeah, it was. And I'll always remember Bernard Brogan had a a relatively easy free, and he popped it wide, and I was like, oh my goodness me, what on earth has happened? Because Dublin were looking as good as they'd ever looked that year. Like, they'd beaten Monaghan out of the gate in the quarterfinals, won the Leinster an absolute canter, which they tend to always do. But back then, it wasn't always that much of a formality. But yeah, no, fair play to Donegal that day. Richie Ryan says Donegal aggressive in the tackle, turning over a lot of ball and pressing up. Yeah, they are, but they didn't really make use of that attack there, and they probably haven't made use of enough. But overall, they'll be very happy. Like, 3 points to the good. I don't know which way, like, if they're playing with the breeze or against the breeze, or if there's much of a breeze out there, but I'd imagine they'll be fairly happy with this so far anyway. But as we say, that Derry are coming forward, and they might get a chance at a goal here. It's opened up over the bar in the end. Derry could have maybe went for the goal. Chrissy McCaig is the man to pop it over the bar. Good score there from Mr. Chrissy McCaig. So 2 points. Very much even Stevens. Very much anyone's game. Garrett McKinless comes on. Padraig McGrogan comes off. So an early sub there for Derry. I wonder, did Niall Toner come on as well? He was looking like he was going to come on, but maybe he didn't. Niall Toner did come on for Niall Loughlin. So 2 subs already in this first half for Mickey Hart's Derry. Oren Lynch is a little bit off his goal again here. This one is going to not even go over the bar in the end. To be fair, it was a difficult effort. It's actually stayed in. And now it's gone out. Yeah, 2 subs there for Mickey Hart. Obviously, I'm not listening to the commentary. So I don't know if there's injuries around there, but could be tactical, to be fair, because Derry really struggled on that attack, that specific attack where they conceded the goal from, in fairness. So there we go. You seem to have misspelled Londonderry in your scoreline. No, it's I believe I'm spelling it right. It is Derry, 5 letters. I mean, depending on where you're from, obviously you might want to call it something else, but where I'm from, we call it Derry. So that's how it will stay in my book. That's what it says on the scoreboard here. So, but yeah, 6 points to 1-5. Whatever you want to call Derry, they are not winning at the moment, but 5 minutes still to go before the end of the first half. Donegal just keeping possession here. Clare 10 up at half time. No miracles today. Yeah. No, I think that was always going to be a short thing. Oisin Gallen has a wild swing in it there, pops it wide. Donegal have had chances to extend this lead. You wonder, could they live to regret those chances? Could they live to regret those opportunities? It's hard to know. It's a great kick out from Oren Lynch, in fairness. And here come Derry going down the other end. Shane McGuigan offloads it in. And is this going to go over the bar? It is. No, it's not. It's wide. It's wide from Shane McGuigan. Looked like it just crept in there. It was a good bit of play from McGuckian, I think, who came on. And or who was a late change. Donegal now with the quick kick out. Quick out. That's a nice little word there from Sean Patton. I'm from Cork. Fair enough. Yeah. Once you don't call Cork the real capital now, do you know what I mean? That's when we really get offended. But no, in all seriousness, to be fair, I was a Cork fan for 70 minutes. I was ready to break out the full kit if Cork had beaten Kerry, but it didn't happen. But yeah, Donegal still in front on the ball. Ryan McHugh, look at that burst of acceleration. They get away with it a little bit there, Donegal. They win it back. Is this going to pop over the bar? It is. That's a lovely score there. They got a little bit lucky there, Donegal. It looked like they'd lost the ball initially, but then they managed to win it back straight away. Patter Mogan with the point. Patter Mogan played it into Moore, and then he lost it, but then wins it back. It's mad, like 2 fullbacks there involved in that Donegal attack. Like that is just that sort of Donegal way of playing, isn't it? So 1-6-6, 3-point game. Donegal just marginally the better side, but of course, still another half to play. Possibly even more. We could be here for a while, yeah. Oren Lynch making his way up the field again, playing in midfield as it seems there. I think the difference maybe between Derry and Donegal so far is that when Donegal have attacked, it's been quick, it's been sharp. They've moved it very, very quickly, whereas Derry have not really been able to do that. They send that one in from Kieran McFall. It was nearly one of them that, balloon shot that drops in the goal. We've seen so many of them down the years, but in fairness to Sean Patton, it was a great punch, and Donegal instead come away with it. This is sensational from Donegal. They should be well clear. Jim is doing an absolute number on them. He is. Will be interesting to see if Donegal can keep this pace up on the break in the second half. Yeah, it will be. And you feel like Derry nearly need to up the pace themselves, but they do win the ball back. McFall out wide to Cassidy, who's had a very good game in fairness. They haven't really been able to get like big players, Derry, in this game. We haven't really seen too much from Shane McGuigan. They do have the ball that pops over the bar just as I speak, and it's Ethan Doherty, who I think has scored point number 3 so far. Like Shane McGuigan hasn't actually scored in the game so far. Brendan Rodgers has been relatively quiet as well. So in fairness, like Derry maybe won't be too disappointed, because it does feel like Donegal have done a very, very good job of keeping McGuigan out of this game. And to be fair, it is only 2 points. Donegal win the ball back, but then lose it. Derry are up in the ante again. And here's Noel Toner, who's come off the bench. Goes around one, might be half chance at a goal. Is he called back? The ref is calling it back here for a free. The foul there given away by Patter Mogan by the looks of things. And it was the Derry substitute, Noel Toner, who really drove at the Donegal defence there. Was it a foul? Let's have a look here. Don't really see a lot in that, to be honest with you. I mean, there was a slight pull at the neck, maybe, but a little bit harsh there. Derry will have the chance to make it. They're obviously going to pop this one over. Shane McGuigan. He did miss one like this in Croke Park, which was a little bit bizarre, but 8 points to 1-6. So I think Derry, considering they conceded the goal, they'll be happy to have brought this back to 1 point, because it was 4 points at one stage. Big kick out now from Sean Patton. He's taking his time with it. Let's not forget the Donegal goal did come from directly from a kick out. But Derry do seem to be getting the edge. They do seem to be turning the ball over a lot more now. And here comes Conor Glass, who offloads it. Back out as Derry come on the attack here, looking to level the game before half-time, which I think they'd be very, very happy with. If they can get level at half-time, that would be absolutely huge. And here's an effort from Conor Doherty, drop short. Sean Patton prevented the point, but nearly gave it straight to one of the lurking Derry forwards there, who would have put the ball in the back of the net, no doubt about that. Donegal come away with the ball now. Donegal have been very impressive in these kind of areas in their half-back line, breaking out with the ball. Kind of crazy. You've got Number 15, Doherty there, almost playing as a cornerback, coming out with the ball. You've just got Donegal men popping up everywhere in every position, it seems. Here's Caelan McGonigal. If Donegal could get a point before half-time, that would be huge. Driving at Conor Glass. Looked like maybe there was a foul. Bit of space opens up. This is lovely football, and that's a lovely score to go with it as well. So Donegal will go 2 clear at half-time, unless there is another bit of play before the end of the half. I think it was Dara O'Boyle who got the point again. So 1-7 to 8, and just that movement, that sharpness, that quickness from Donegal, very, very impressive. And to be very, very happy. Well, here comes a chance maybe for Derry. Brendan Rodgers getting himself forward, and he pops the ball over the bar. I have to say, this is a great game. This is a great game. It was very slow to begin with, but high-level stuff there. Brendan Rodgers ending up almost as a full forward there, catches the ball 1v1, and then he doesn't even have that much space, but he pops it over brilliantly. Michael Langan, the man who was picking him up there, and Brendan Rodgers done absolutely fantastic to pop that one over. So yeah, half time, Donegal 9, or Derry 9, Donegal 1-7. Donegal leading by a point. That goal from Dara O'Beal very much proving to be the difference. Derry, in fairness, have responded well, but it's very even. It's very even. You can't really call how this one's going to go, and it could very well go down to the wire. Who knows? Who knows? Do Donegal have the bench to keep it up, though? The thing is about Donegal, though, is I don't think they've exerted a huge amount of energy, though, at the same time. Do you know that way? Like, they've been very sharp, very quick. They've defended well. Like, looking at their bench, maybe they don't. Like, just looking at a Jamie Brennan, maybe he's an option. But they do have Patrick McBurthy there. Whether he's fit, I don't know. But he could very much come on. You do look at Derry's bench, though, and it definitely is stronger. Like, you've got Emmett Bradley. They have used 2 subs already, though, Derry. So they've already kind of played their hand a little bit, bringing Niall Toner and Garrett McKinless on. They've got McGuckian who could come on. Emmett Bradley's obviously the obvious one there. So yeah. Gavin says Mickey will just never beat Jim. Yeah, I think, has he never beaten him before? That's interesting. Maybe he hasn't actually in the championship. Since it's half time, I might go back and have a quick look at that maybe, and let's see. But yeah, overall very good for Donegal. A point up, they'll be happy. But then again, it's not lost. It is not lost for Derry, no doubt about that. Yeah, they didn't play each other in 2014. Looking at it here, but in saying that, though, like, Jim McGuinness was the only man to beat Jim Gavin in a championship game. So he just has this way. He just has this number. He seems to get a lot out of players. He seems to be able to really, really get a lot out of players, and tactically as well, the way they set up. Like, it would be some going. It would be some statement if they pull this off and win it. And it would make you think, where are Donegal, in the grand scheme of things? Like, are they... Like, you'd have to put them as contenders if they were to go and beat Derry, Like, you really, really would, considering how good Derry have looked this year. But still 35 minutes to go. I think so far, standout players, Paul Cassidy, very, very good for Derry. There's no doubt about that. He's been very, very impressive. I think 3 points I think he's kicked in total. Ryan McHugh has been very good the other way as well. Very, very impressive he has been. So very, very good campaign for him from a Donegal perspective, obviously back in the side as well. And you just think, like, Donegal are doing all this without Patrick McBurthy, who is on the bench. How fit he is, I don't know. Whether he does come on is hard to know, but he could come on. He definitely could. So, and that certainly would be interesting. I was just having a look at it there. So 2013, obviously Donegal played Tyrone. Mickey Hart was in charge then. Donegal won that day 2-10 to 10 points. Just looking at the 2012 championship here. Donegal beat Tyrone that day as well in the semi-finals, 12 to 10. So, you know, Jim McGuinness does have the number on Mickey Hart. There's no doubt about that. Could he do it again? He just might. He just might. A2, Dublin. Ulster football is just different gravy. Put the Dubs in the Ulster Championship. Yeah, look, if Dublin were in the Ulster Championship, it would make it it'd make it very competitive. But like all in all, I do think, like aside from the Dublin issue, I do think provincial championships are all in all actually in a very good place. Like Ulster is very competitive. You've got Sligo who've joined the pack a little bit now with that result again. I know they lost to Galway, but the fact they were so competitive, I think, shows that they are closing the gap. There's absolutely no doubt about it. On the other hand side, Cork always give Kerry a good game. They always give Kerry a good game. Like Kerry will win the Munster Championship. There's no doubt about that. They'll probably give Clare a bit of a hiding in the final, like they done last year. But Cork do have this thing where they always raise their game against Kerry, which makes it interesting. So you are looking at it and you're thinking provincial championships outside of the Dublin issue maybe aren't so bad. So it is interesting. I think taking Dublin out of Croke Park is just the obvious one that's kind of staring you in the face, at least until a Leinster final anyway. But yeah, 1-7, 9 points. Anyone who's tuning in, if you could hit the like button and subscribe, that would be very much appreciated. We will be dropping a match reaction after this game as well. And yeah, tomorrow looks to be an absolute, classic of a day. Limerick against Clare. What a game that's going to be. And Mayo against Roscommon. And Man City in front against Chelsea. No surprises there, but so yeah, like tomorrow, Clare Limerick. I was going to do a watch along for the Clare Limerick game instead of doing it for this one, but I think Donegal, Derry, Ulster Championship, it kind of has a real Ulster final feel to it, ever so slightly. Look, I know Armagh there, Tyrone are there, no doubt about that, but you just get the feeling that this is one of the games could be one of the games of the year. Looking at Clare, Waterford, Clare 113, Waterford 5 points. Second half has just got underway there, so Clare are cruising. There's been absolutely no surprises there. I think we all expected Clare to come through that, and fair play to Waterford. They've had a decent, not a decent season as such, but a decent win last time out against Tipperary. It's just a shame there's no like junior All Ireland or something of that nature. I know there is a junior All Ireland Championship, but it's not taken seriously, do you know, that way. Because I don't think Waterford going into the Tailteann Cup actually helps them. But we'll see what happens with the groups. The dilemma with the provincials, we could a bad week like last and a good one like this. Yeah, I suppose that's the thing. Like, you've no Leinster football this week, so that's probably why. But like, aside from Dublin though, like, I do think the provincial championships have been all right so far. Like, you've had, Wicklow beating Westmeath, which was a surprise. Waterford getting a big win against Tipperary. Cavan beating Monaghan. Cork gave Kerry a good rattle today. Sligo gave Galway a good rattle. Donegal are in front right now against Derry. So like, it just is that Dublin are so far ahead, and it's one of them that Dublin are so good, but the rest of Leinster unfortunately have dropped off quite a lot. Like, Meath are mid-level Division 2, Kildare down to Division 3, Westmeath, you never know what you're going to get with them. Louth have improved, don't get me wrong, but they're obviously still nowhere near the level of Dublin, and will they ever get to a level of Dublin? Probably not. I just think the obvious solution is home and away rule, and then final Croke Park, Leinster final Croke Park. I think that makes the most sense because, I know Cork Kerry today is in Fitzgerald Stadium, but Cork are used to playing Kerry in different grounds. Look at Sligo today, at home to Galway in Markovich Park. If that game's in Pearse Stadium, fair enough. Pearse Stadium is a small enough pitch as well, but maybe Galway win it more comfortable. Do you know that way? So the fact Sligo are at home in Markovich Park, it helps them. So I think that's the obvious one. But yeah. Good competitive games today, to be fair. Absolutely. Mayo v Roscommon will be very interesting tomorrow. It will be. You're hoping for a good game. I think Roscommon fans may be watching Cork give a good rattle to Kerry, and Sligo giving a good rattle to Galway, and Donegal doing what they're doing now would probably give them, not that it's in any way related, but it will give them a bit of confidence that, okay, there's been a few surprises and shocks so far in these provincial championships. Maybe there might just be another one to upset the odds ever so slightly, but whether we actually see that, I wouldn't see it. I would fancy Mayo still, but you just never know. You never know. But yeah, 1-7 to 9. Second half should be starting soon. I'll just run through some of the scores in total. So for Derry, Shane McGuigan with 1 point, Paul Cassidy with 2, Ethan Doherty with 3. He's probably been Derry's best player in fairness. Brendan Rodgers with a point, Conor Doherty with a point, and Chrissy McCaig on the score sheet there. For Donegal, Oisin Gallen with 2, Dara O'Boyle with 1-1, Ryan McHugh with 2 points, Patter Morgan with a point, and Kieran Moore has also got on the score sheet there for Donegal, the fullback. So it's even Stevens. It's all to play for. And hopefully we can get an entertaining enough second half. It was slow enough to begin with. It was 2 points to 1 after 10 minutes. It was very cagey. It felt like the Donegal goal opened it up a little bit, and I got a bit mental after that. But yeah, all in all, it's been a good day of football so far. The Kerry Cork game was very good in fairness. First half was very entertaining. It was very manic. There was goal chances back and forth, and Cork were giving it a right good go in fairness. I do feel for Leitrim if they're left behind, if Sligo catches up on the other 3. Yeah, possibly. But at the same time, Leitrim will look at it and think, they were at Sligo's level just a year ago, 2 years ago. Leitrim and Sligo had some very good battles. So it might give Leitrim confidence that there is hope, that there is potential to kick on. Sligo have obviously had a lot of very, very good results at underage level, which I think has helped them. I'd imagine not too many of those players were involved today because obviously they were playing midweek. But, I do think that kind of thing feeds into a county, the positivity and everything else. So, it will help them. There's absolutely no doubt about that. But yeah, so, but Leitrim had 1 or 2 good results under 20 level. They beat Mayo, obviously, so maybe they can do something. But it would be great to see Sligo kick on though, because I think if you had Sligo, Roscommon, Galway, Mayo, at a very sort of similar spectrum, it would make the Connacht Championship so brilliant. It really would. But yeah. Just waiting for the second half, which should throw in any given moment. Derry a point down, but still obviously well in it. It could go to extra time. Let's not forget. I think the last time these two played each other in the Ulster Championship, the Ulster Final 2022, that went to extra time and Derry won it. So it could go to extra time. It could be a long old evening here. But a long way to go still. Be interesting to see if Donegal can keep up that intensity in the second half, because they showed a lot of it in the first half. Richie says, really feel Roscommon could sting Mayo tomorrow. The Ross in the Hyde is fierce. It definitely is. But I think they have a better record in McHale Park against Mayo though in recent years, don't they? And I think Mayo have a better record at the Hyde. It's a weird one. Roscommon definitely could though. I think they will. I think the first 20-25 minutes is crucial though in that game, because it's one of them games where if Roscommon can start fast, get a couple of early scores, a bit like the Cork-Kerry game today, like start really strong, you've something to build off, you've something to hold. And as we saw with Roscommon Mayo last year, they had something to hold, and then they kept turning them over, hitting them on the counter, and Mayo just didn't have any answers. And Mayo do struggle with really well organised defensive sides, and to be fair to Roscommon last year, when they played Mayo, like they were really, really well organised. They turned Mayo over numerous times and just kept hitting them over and over. So I think if they can do something similar again, then they've got a real chance. What is spray painted on the pitch, says Jojo. I have no idea. No idea there. Don't know what you mean. I haven't a clue. Enlighten me there. Leitrim underage, very competitive this year. They have been. They obviously beat Mayo, so like they're going well. They're going well, which is good to see. And I think, like if you were to get, I know you obviously have London and New York in there, but if you were to have a 5-team Connacht Championship that was very competitive, it would, it would rival the Ulster Championship in terms of, how many great teams are in that. So, you'd love to see Leitrim back in the mix. But a couple of minutes away from the second half. Long old half-time break here. No real handbags in this game so far, which is surprising. You would have thought Derry and Donegal, a few of the players would have got stuck into each other, but hasn't happened so far. It's all been nice, but sure as it goes into the melting pot, it'll be a little bit different then, maybe. One 7-9 in favour of Donegal. It would really shake up the championship as well if Donegal won this, because all of a sudden then, the group stages would be even more interesting without, with Derry going in as the third seed. You think of could end up in a group with Dublin, could end up in a group with Kerry. So it really would completely throw the cat amongst the pigeons in terms of the group stages and everything else. Great day for it as well. Celtic Park, great venue. I was there a couple of weeks ago at the Dublin Derry game. It was different weather. It was absolutely pouring down that day. So nice to see it with the sun shining and all the rest. I'm sure it's a great old day for both fans. Obviously not too far to travel for Donegal fans as well. Very close, isn't it? Donegal, Derry, neighbouring counties and all that. So but Jim McGuinness, he's got the better of Mickey Hart. He definitely has got the better of him. I don't think Mickey Hart has beaten Jim McGuinness in championship. I was just looking back at the games there. Doesn't appear to. Like 2011, 2012, 2013, Donegal beat Tyrone in the Ulster Championship in all those 3 seasons. So he has, Jim McGuinness has got a number on Mickey Hart. He's done him 3 times previously. If he was to do him again, that'd be some statement. I mean, like I suppose Tyrone, this Derry side are arguably a little bit better than that Tyrone team, but that Tyrone team did have all Ireland winners in them, especially 2011, 2012. They were still a very, very good side. So, and Donegal were nowhere near it back then, or as we would have imagined. But the Derry side are back out. Donegal team are back out as well. Second half about to throw in. Big second half. Can Donegal start with the same intensity? Can they start with it? To be fair, they started the first half actually quite slow. Like they went 2 points down. They weren't really in it. Donegal battled back. To be fair, But it's a big game, a big start to the second half for Derry. Conor Glass, Brendan Rodgers, probably a little bit quiet in the first half. Brendan Rodgers scored a good point towards the end, but probably a little bit of a slow start to the second half, in fairness. Just a reminder of the other games. Clare beating Waterford 2-16 to 1-6. So Clare cruising into the Munster final. Kerry beat Cork earlier, 18 points to 112. And Galway beat Sligo 113 to 14. So last bit of championship action of the day to decide, really. And second half throws in. Donegal win the throw in. You'd imagine Donegal are probably going to keep ball for, large parts at different times to try and take the sting out of Derry, manage the game and all that crack. It's one thing that really annoys me in Gaelic football, but to be fair, you understand why teams do it. Dublin do it. There's no doubt about that. Dublin have done it. Mayo 2017 is the perfect example where we basically crucified Mayo for the final couple of minutes, just keeping the ball. But you understand it. You do understand it. In fairness to Donegal, though, when they have had the ball, especially when they've got into attacking positions, they've moved it a lot quicker and they've been much more direct and quick than Derry have. And there's a effort that dropped short. It was Micheál Langan who dropped it in. Good bit out. Bit of a risky effort. Low percentage shot, as they say. Derry coming out now with Ethan Doherty's been outstanding so far. 3 points to his name. Arguably the best player on the pitch so far for Derry. Derry know that a point here levels the game. Space opens up for Cassidy. Thought about it. Didn't go for it. Donegal very well set up. It's probably the difference maybe between the two sides is that when Donegal have been in these positions, they've moved it a lot quicker, whereas Derry maybe haven't. There's an effort that looks like it's coming in, but it's not. It's wide. And it was Owen McAvoy there, who has been one of the players of the season so far, you'd say. What did he score? 2-2 against Dublin the last day. Pops that one wide. So I think Derry will... I think both sides will be a little bit disappointed missing opening chances of the second half. But here's the big one now. Sean Patton, he's going to go for that left corner. And if he gets it, the space on. And here we go. Darrow Beals off his goal again. And he's going to go for it again. And he's got it again. Unbelievable. He's done it again. Oh, my goodness me. 2-7. Deary me. And this time around, it's an absolute disaster class from Oren Lynch this time around, because he actually gets a hand on it, but it's probably actually an own goal, because I actually don't know if that's going in. I actually think that might have been going wide. Darragh O'Boyle again. And Oren Lynch, he has to throw a hand at it. He's no Evan Comerford. At that same end, Dublin. I don't mean to always make it about Dublin, but there was something similar that happened. But yeah, look, massive goal there, 2-7. All of a sudden now there's a gap. There is a gap again, 4 points, and again it's so similar to the first goal. It's a Sean Patton kick out. It breaks. Oren Lynch is completely off his goal. And I think Jim McGuinness has completely done Mickey Hart there, because that happens once, you say it's a freak. It happens twice, it's not a freak. Donegal have 100% looked at that. And they've noticed Oren Lynch comes up for those kickouts. He leaves that space. So let's target that space. Let's go for it. And Sean Patton, to be fair, is a man who is a very, very good kicker of a ball. He's done it on, he's one of the best kickers of a ball in the country, in my opinion. And wow, there we go. 2-7 to 9 points. Donegal really, really shaking this up. Is there a replay, or does it finish today? I think it has to finish today. So it could go to extra time. It could even go to penalties. It really should go to a replay, though, shouldn't it? I mean, understand extra time, but yeah. Oren Lynch is just too risky with what he does. He's gotten away with it a few times in recent seasons. Yeah, but I even think back to the Galway Derry game 2022, and something similar happened in that game as well. To be fair, like, a lot of it is not really his fault. He's obviously been told to press that area of space, you know. So it's more of a tactical thing probably than his fault. But the goal, yeah, like, it's probably just unfortunate. Like, it looked as if it could have been going wide from Niall O'Donnell. Maybe it goes off the post and goes in or creeps in. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, crazy stuff in this game. Darragh O'Wheel with both goals for Donegal, so mad. And the problem is now for Derry is that the next time Donegal get a kick out, the same thing could happen again. Derry need a score here. They haven't scored in the second half. And Donegal are very, very well set up. But here come Derry. Derry probably need a goal, but they need something at least from this. And they don't. It's wide from Niall Toner. Derry are up against it. Mickey Hart, he doesn't look too happy there. He's chewing the chewing gum inside and out. And here we go then. I mean, it's mad. These kickouts are almost like a chance. David Goff isn't too happy though. He's telling them to hurry up and get on with it, or something's happening. I don't know, but yeah, these kickouts are almost like a chance, a free or something. Do you know that way? Like, it's mad to see. We don't get the angle on it this time, but again, they kick into a similar angle, and again, look, Oren Lynch is off his goal again. But this time, Donegal, he's backing his goal. But Donegal will surely take the point. They do take the point. Niall O'Donnell 2-8 to 9, and Jim McGuinness is working his magic again. Incredible stuff. Bit like Mayo last year, Derry just losing steam a bit. Yeah, they and you know, and it's a strong point, you know, like teams who do well in the league struggling at the start of championship. And it's a similar trend here so far. Difference is though, Mayo were in the league like a week after that league final, whereas Derry they've had a few weeks now in preparation for this. So A2, Jim is a genius. Fancy them to win Ulster now. Armagh don't have the stones. Yeah, look, if they can come through this, you probably would fancy them to do it. But it is not over yet. There was a good point there by Brendan Rodgers. So Derry will stick in it, but again, it's the kick out from Sean Patton. This time he plays a short, nearly lost it, but Donegal do have it. To 8 to 10. Very intriguing game. Very good game. It's exactly what the championship needed, in fairness. And we've had a few nearly shocks today. Donegal beating Derry, like, maybe isn't as big as a shock as it would be Cork beating Kerry or Sligo beating Galway, but it certainly still would be a surprise. And here they go, Donegal marching forward over Carrion, potentially there, called on Kieran Moore. Jim McGuinness isn't happy with that. Yeah, he's taking about 6-7 steps there. So, right decision. We have seen them, to be fair, though, we have seen them not called in the so 4-point game. Derry need a score here. They definitely do, to bring it back to 3, because if they don't, then you know, the emphasis is back with Donegal again. And there's a ball that drops short. Derry are just missing chances. They're wasting opportunities. Paul Cassidy, I think it was that time, who dropped it in short. And the longer it stays like this, the more Donegal will believe that they can do it. And it is mad because for so long in this fixture, Derry were always the underdogs, but obviously the tables have turned. But there are Donegal players on that field who've beaten Derry before, so it's not a complete anomaly as such. But there was an effort that went a good bit wide, and that was just a little bit of loose head. Need a bit more calmness in that position. Doherty with the effort, good bit wide. It would be great to see Derry in the same group as Dublin or Kerry. Yeah, look, it could happen. It could very well happen if Derry lose. I mean, there is also the possibility that they end up with the Ulster winners or the Connacht winners, that way. But it could happen, yeah. Conor Glass hit a bit of a Hail Mary ball in there. Could have went anywhere, but Donegal have come out with it. They got a little bit away with that. But now Derry are completely off their line. Oh, it's a lovely bit of close skill there from Pater Mogan. Here come Donegal on the attack. Oh, and there might be a space for another goal here. Oh, and that's got to be a penalty. Absolutely, no doubt about it. A penalty to Donegal. Chrissy McKay gets caught, and I'm telling you what, this is, you don't always reference that game from 10 years ago, but it's just so similar. It's so similar, isn't it? I think Donegal got a penalty in that game as well. It's very, very similar. Chrissy McKay gets caught. It looks like it's outside the square, but it is a goal scoring opportunity, so there's absolutely no doubt about it. It should be, a penalty. Just outside by the looks of it, but as we know, goal scoring opportunity, you have to give the penalty. So, correct decision there. So, standing up, Oisín Gallen with the chance. Does he finish it? This could be huge. And he does. Wonderful goal there from Oisín Gallen. 3-8 to 10 points for Donegal. A massive lead now they have over Derry. Jim McGuinness has outfoxed the old wily fox himself. Look at that. Calm as you like. Rolls the penalty. Nice and calm. Simple. 7 points now. 23 minutes still to go. Derry, this is a massive test of character now for Derry, but all of a sudden, Niall O'Donnell's been blackguarded here, so maybe there's a chance still for Derry to do something, but wow. 3-8 to 10 points. Who would have saw this coming? Like, this isn't just a win, this is an annihilation. Be interesting to see what Niall O'Donnell got blackguarded for. Obviously an incident off the ball, but it will be interesting to get a replay on that. Derry need to respond. This is arguably the worst place we've seen Derry in Ulster during this sort of spell of obviously winning 2 in a row last year. They're really up against it now. This is a real test of character. This is where champions are made. Oh, McAvoy. Kieran McFall has to go over. It doesn't. They drop short. It's just not working for Derry. They've just lost themselves a bit here. It's a relatively routine one for a player of Kieran McFall's quality, and he underhits it. I think they're overthinking it. They're panicking, and arguably they're bottling it a little bit here now, Derry, which you wouldn't have seen. Sean Patton goes long, and Derry are just at sea again. There could be another one here for Donegal there's just free men popping up everywhere. This is mental. Black card for dissent. Fair enough. Probably the right decision. We probably should see more black cards given for dissent, but we probably don't really get to see them enough. Shouldn't it be a yellow card if it was dissent though? Interesting. I suppose David Goff is, to be fair to him, he doesn't take any shit, and fair play to him. He gets a lot of stick from Dublin fans, but he probably is one of the best referees in the country, in my opinion. So yeah, Derry have won the turnover there. That was a chance for Donegal to, push out their lead even more. Put Derry in blue in the 2014 game. Yeah, it's similar. It is similar. 6 they've dropped into Donegal's keeper's hand. Yeah, there's been a lot of them. And see, the thing is now is you have Oren Lynch so far up the field that if they lose the ball again, they're in trouble. They should be over the bar. And that one is over the bar. So that's a good point there from Derry. Comfortable there. There wasn't really a man near him, in fairness. So that was quite an easy one for Lakeland Murray. Wasn't going to miss that. Pops it over. They probably need to make use of this black card situation. Like, if Niall O'Donnell was black carded for dissent, like, why would you give the referee? Like, I actually don't understand that. Like, you've just scored a goal from a penalty. Why would you give the referee? Do you know what I mean? It's a little bit of a mad one, isn't it? A little bit of a silly one, like, if that is the case, because it could just give Derry a bit of a lifeline, you know? Like, in fairness to Donegal, they're not. You think they would keep the ball and slow it down and stop, slow the game and stop the game and everything, but they're actually not doing that. Like, they keep attacking Derry here, and it's very frantic at the best of times. 20 minutes to go, though. 19 minutes. Probably be some injury time. Could it go beyond that? It's not impossible. The athleticism of these Donegal lads, though, just the speed, the acceleration of them is just so interesting to see. And it's mad. You think back to Donegal last year, they were beaten by Down at this stage last season, and Donegal football looked finished. And now they're 6 points up against Derry. I mean, that's one hell of a turnaround in the space of a year, but they've lost the ball. Kayla McGonigal over carrying David Goff. He's very strict on that. But here come Derry. You feel like there was an opportunity there to work a score, and it's like they overthink it or overplay it. Here's Shane McGuigan. That's a foul, is it? Did look at push in the back, in fairness. So Ryan McHugh should be an easy one here for Shane McGuigan to bring it back to 5. Donegal players weren't happy with it. Let's have a look here. Shane McGuigan on the ball. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. It is a foul. There's no doubt about that. So you'd imagine Shane McGuigan here to pop this one over. Relatively easy one, just right in front of the goal. And no problem there from Shane McGuigan. So, in fairness to Derry, they're trying to. They're not bowing down. They're keeping themselves in it. 5 points, still quite a gap. You feel like Derry need a goal, maybe even 2 goals here. Because the worry is that Donegal could go down the other end and get another one. And here's the same scenario again. Oren Lynch is off his goal. So Sean Patton will just kick long. And they've won the kick out. And again, Oren Lynch is off his line, but Donegal this time around keeping possession. There's no rush for Donegal here either. They are 5 in front, so they don't need to rush it. And there's the effort. It's a good bit wide. Donegal just being a little bit wasteful now, maybe. There was no need to go for that. He could have hung on to the ball. They could have kept the ball. Kayla McGonigal. So 5 in it. If Derry can get the next score, it's 4 in it. And, they've made use of this black card period very well. But here they come now. Is that Benny Heron who's coming on? Or who's come on? It looks like it is him. The GOAT, of course. Emma Bradley actually is who it is. And Donegal turning over again. It's these areas where Derry just looks so vulnerable to those runners, to those overlapping runners. And here they come. And it's laid back into Sean O'Donnell. Did he need to go for that? They're just being a little bit wasteful, Donegal. They're just being a little bit wasteful. They're getting into good areas. They're just not taking those chances. And you feel like Derry maybe should have been killed off by now, but they're still in it. They're still there. Back-to-back misses. One from McGonigal, one from Sean O'Donnell. And yeah, just not taking those chances. Not taking those chances. Sean Patton's on the ground. If he was injured, that would be a huge blow, actually. That would be a huge blow. And he is. He's gone off. Okay. So Gavin Mulraney has come on. Sean Patton's gone off. I have no idea about Gavin Mulraney, to be honest. Is he as good on kickouts as Sean Patton? There's not many who are, in fairness, in the country. So it'd be very interesting to see. You just feel like Derry have been given a few lifelines here. Here's Emma Bradley. Plays it into Cassidy. Back to Conor Glass. Opts not to go for it. Owen McAvoy. Derry are on the attack. There's a little bit of space here. And over the bar. So it's down to 4. I don't think Donegal have scored since the goal. I don't think they've scored since the goal. Or maybe they've gotten a point, but yeah, in fairness, Derry are just slowly creeping back into it. And let's not forget, 14 minutes here still to go. So Donegal just need to compose themselves a little bit more. Liam says put a high ball in there. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, look, that could work, but 4 points, 13 minutes to go. Probably not at that stage just yet. You feel like Derry do need a goal, but if they can just keep chipping away at the scoreboard here, it will give them confidence. But Donegal just need to compose themselves a little bit more, you feel. Jamie Brennan's coming on. You feel like that black card scenario, or the black card, like, it should... Donegal should have a player back. 10 minutes now since the last score for Donegal. So they're just... All of a sudden, Derry are just coming back into it. They're just coming back into it. And they're gaining confidence. And here's Conor Glass. And that's wide. That needed to go over. That needed to go over there for Derry. Puts that over. It's a one-score game. It's game on again, you know. It's already game on in some ways, but they're right back in it compared to being 7 down. So, yeah, you feel like Derry have been given just a few lifelines with the black card from Niall O'Donnell. He's back on the field now. Obviously, Sean Patton gone off injured as well. Well, Ranny, to be fair, it's a great kick, actually, in fairness there. And coming out with it is McHugh. Donegal need a score just to settle them down a little bit. 10 minutes without a score. Niall O'Donnell's back on. And here's McHugh again. I think Patrick McBurthy's come on, but they said on the graphic that he's come off. So now I'm confused. Was he on all this time and I just didn't know? Well, here's Kieran Moore. This needs to go over for Donegal. And it's dropped short. They're losing themselves a little bit, Donegal. They're just... they're panicking a little bit, I think. They're panicking a little bit, maybe. It would obviously be massive for them to beat this Derry side. It would be huge. There's experienced heads in that Donegal side, but there are also young players as well. You feel like you need the experienced heads now to step up, because they've missed a few chances to kill this game off, and they're just allowing Derry to grow that bit more. Rogers back to Bradley. Space opens up here. Derry should score. Oh, that's dreadful. That's very poor there. And that's just an absolute lifeline. An absolute lifeline there for Donegal, just in the sense that what a chance that was. It was Gilmore, I think, the substitute. It was a very weak effort. And, Derry are... Donegal are missing chances to kill the game, but Derry are also missing chances to get themselves back into it. So, all in all, with 10 minutes to go, Donegal 4 points in front. They'll be happy. They will be happy. Donegal now happy to keep the ball, slow possession down, slow the game down. And David Goff has seen something here off the ball. And there's going to be a free for Donegal in a very, very good position. And this should go over the bar. This should be Donegal's first score in about 12, 13, maybe 14 minutes. And it is Patrick McBurty who has come on. I was a bit confused there with the graphic on RTE, because they said he came off and Niall O'Donnell came on. So that was a little bit confusing, but he is on and he is over the ball here. So Patrick McBurty standing over it for his first point of the game. No problem. You were thinking, could there have been a bit of rustiness? Not the case. Not the case. Three 9-13, 5-point game. Kick out there from Oren Lynch. Well caught. And then they lose it. Donegal win it back. Ref not having it. Push in the back. Could argue maybe David Goff could have called it back there, but here comes Gilmore on the ball for Derry. Brendan Rodgers, they need their big players to step up. They need a point here, Derry. There was opportunities to pull this game back, and they didn't take it. Now it's Emma Bradley. And he's popped it wide as well. And Derry, they just haven't been at the races today. Not at the races at all. And Mickey Hart watches on in disbelief. He can't believe it. He cannot believe it. 5 points down with 8 minutes to go. Donegal about to shake up the Ulster Championship here. Let's not forget, Derry stopped Donegal winning 3 in a row. Not 3 in a row, but they stopped Donegal winning the Ulster Championship a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden Oren Lynch has gone walkies again, and it's another goal. It's a 4th goal for Donegal. Powered in the back of the net from the substitute, Jamie Brennan, and it's 4-9-13 points. It's good night, Vienna, and it's goodbye, Derry. They are done in the Ulster Championship for this year. Again, Oren Lynch is absolutely nowhere. 3 goals have all come from that kick out. Sean Patton not even on the field this time. Jamie Brennan, he had options. He probably shouldn't have went for it, to be fair. He probably could have laid it off to a man, but pops it in the back of the net. 8 points now, the difference. An incredible display from Donegal, and Jim McGuinness has outwitted the old fox and Mickey Hart. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times in his career in the championship. And this one might just be the most sweetest of them all. Lynch go home. I tell you what, he might as well be going home. I don't know where he's going half the time. It's been a nightmare day from him, in fairness. And Derry have lost the ball again, and they're just absolutely all over the place. I tell you what does this do for Donegal, though? Like, it puts them smack bang in the conversation. If they can do this to Derry, like they could probably do it to anyone. Don't get me wrong, teams will be more wary of Donegal now. Like maybe Derry underestimated Donegal a little bit, took their eye off the ball. But wow, this is very, very impressive. Incredible stuff really from Donegal. Keeping the ball now. And like what's interesting is like it's not like Donegal have completely sat back. They've just been, look at them driving through the middle here with Kayla McGonigal. And that's another point over the bar now. Popped over from the substitute, 4-10 to 13. Derry, look at the Derry fans are leaving. They've had enough. Remarkable. 4-10 to 13. Derry have been absolutely humbled. They've been humbled here in their own backyard. Kieran McFall shakes his head as he goes off. 5 minutes to go. 9 points down. I mean, there's no way back now. There's no way back. They had a bit of hope there for a couple of minutes, but now it's gone. And massive reality check for Mickey Hart, who, to be fair, probably actually, when you look through his days with Tyrone, you know, very often his Tyrone team would go out a championship and then still go on to have great All-Ireland series. So it's probably not out of line with Mickey Hart as well. But yeah, what a performance this is from Donegal. 4-10, 13, 8 points to the good, 9 points to the good, I should say. What a performance. What a performance. This is absolutely nuts, says A2. It is. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And 3 times Oren Lynch off his goal. But you just look at Derry here in these scenarios. They're getting into attacking positions and they're not taking them. They've just completely overthought it and been bamboozled. And now they're shooting for goals. And like, it's just wild. It is 2014 all over again. It's so reminiscent of it. Donegal nearly hit Derry on the counter-attack. Donegal have a man down. Sean says Derry will grow from this. Yeah, look, it will help Derry. I mean, I mean, it depends. Like it could go one or two ways. It could be exactly what Derry needs. They lose a game, they reevaluate, they go back to the drawing board, and then they come back. You know, sometimes you need a big defeat to learn. And this could help Derry in regards to that, but it could go the other way and derail their season. Like look at Mayo last year, lost to Roscommon after winning the league. Fair enough, they came back and Beck Kerry, but their inconsistencies continued, like losing to Dublin in the way that they did. So it's a massive, massive reality check, and it will be one that will really wake Derry up a little bit, and make them realise, all right, they're not, they beat Dublin and they were outstanding in that game, but let's not forget Dublin were missing a lot of big, big players in that game. Here's Oisín Gallen standing over it to make it a 10-point game. And he does. 10 points. This is wow. This is absolutely crazy. I was just thinking the only other set of supporters who might be happy seeing this is Tyrone, but then again, Tyrone could play Donegal next, so maybe they won't be happy. Joseph says same thing happened with Louth v Dublin last year. Pushed too hard, killed at the back. Yeah, I suppose it's similar in the sense that Dublin scored 5 goals in that game. Donegal have scored 4 here. It's a massive, massive reality check for Derry. And look, it might help them. It might be what they need. They'll have a break now before the group stages. But they've just completely lost their way. And they haven't. I think the big issue for Mickey Hart and for Derry will be clearly they were very susceptible 2 kickouts in the first half. Like the goal came from Sean Patton, obviously kicking along. They won the breaking ball. It happened again. And then it happened the third time. And it even happened a few times before that. And there was no goals that came from it. You feel like he should have made a change, Mickey Hart, or Derry should have done something to change things, because they just allowed the same things to keep on happening. And ultimately, like, it's the goals that, like, have made the difference here. So this will do Derry more favours than going through Ulster, getting more fatigue in contrast to Dublin, who will cruise through Leinster. I don't know, though, because, like, Derry, came through Ulster last year. They built off that momentum. Then they came through the group stages. And let's not forget, in the group stages, if you win your provincial championship, you're going to avoid Dublin. You're going to avoid Kerry, who are going to come through their provinces. You're going to avoid a big team from Connacht, either a Galway or, a Mayo or a Roscommon. Whoever comes through, obviously, you probably don't want to play them. So you're avoiding the other, because you can't get drawn against the Ulster runners up. So you're avoiding another big hitter there. So now, like, it's still a long slog for Derry still. They have popped 2 points over the bar, but it is done. There's no doubt about that. I mean, 8 points. I mean, they need goals at this stage, really. Like, so I think it's just about trying to make the scoreboard more respectable now. Time for Derry to settle down. Embarrassing for 2 in a row. Ulster champions. Champagne football. Donegal are back, and I'm here for a bring on to Dublin v Donegal All-Ireland semi-final. Yeah, who knows? Derry are going long here, looking for the goal, and nothing has come of it. Dublin will be laughing tonight after Kerry and Derry's performances. Yeah, look, I mean, we have seen that with Kerry, though, in the past, so it's nothing, it's nothing out of the ordinary, in my opinion, with Kerry. But the Derry one is definitely something that, it's nice to see them get a bit of a humbling. But look at them here, like, they're trying their best to roar their way back into it. They've kicked another point over the bar. They've brought it down again. They don't have enough time. It's done. It is done still. Like, it's 7 with 2 minutes to go. They need quick 4 goals. Mayo's season was derailed by the loss to Cork, not Roscommon. Yeah, look, I mean, the Cork defeat obviously did massive, but I think the first big defeat of their season was against Roscommon. They did turn it around, though. Look, they beat Kerry in their own backyard. They had some good results after that, but I just think the inconsistent nature of them played a part. Derry will learn. They need to win the group. Yeah, they definitely do, because, like, if they don't win their group and they finish second or third, it could. Then they go into the preliminary round game, and then you just never know. Look at Galway last year; looked so strong for so long, and then go into the preliminary rounds and then get beat. So yeah, we've not long to go here. We've about a minute left. Donegal are just keeping the ball. This will mean a lot to Donegal fans who, lost the Ulster final to Derry a couple of years ago. Donegal beaten by Down in the championship last year. Let's not forget. They were in disarray. They were beaten. They were finished, but they found an almighty response, an incredible response, really, and certainly the result of the championship so far. The Donegal players look absolutely dead on their feet, in fairness. Derry are trying to find something. They might get a goal chance here. McGuigan just absolutely hammers it over the bar. That looked like he just hammered that over in frustration. Derry have hit 4 on the bounce. Look, I mean, it was a 10-point game at one stage. Now it's 6. But there is the final whistle, and Donegal have done it. They have beaten Derry. What an almighty shock. What an almighty surprise that is. 4-11 to 17 points. An incredible result for Donegal football. Absolutely extraordinary. Cheers anyone who tuned into the watch along. We'll be going live in about 10 minutes time, or about 6 minutes, for the reaction, and we're going to discuss this game and break it down even more. But what a win for Donegal. What a story for Donegal. And for Derry, a massive humbling. There's no doubt about it. They got humbled today. Maybe it will help them. Maybe it will help them improve going forward. I don't really know. But the day belongs to Donegal. An absolute masterclass from Jim McGuinness. There's a reason why he's held up as one of the best GA managers in the country, and he's absolutely proven it today. That was extraordinary stuff. So yeah, we'll be live again in a few. Congratulations to Donegal, 4-11 to 17 points.